My name's Sam, I'm 30 now and I run ultramarathon. I've always had a love for sport and wanted to push as far as I could and yeah, I guess eventually all roads led back to running and I've been pushing it further and further and to the point where yeah, now I run further than most. This year I would like to break the world record. It currently stands at 101 hours or 101 loops, 667 kilometres. People say, oh, you can't run that far or you shouldn't run that far, and I say, no, fuck you, I'm going to run that far. I'm going to win that race. I'm going to win that national championship. I'm going to win the world championship. Fuck you, I can't do it. I'm going to do that.
Hi, my name's Sean Collins, the Running Beast, and we're here at the Riverhead Backyard Relapse Ultra in Riverhead Forest. Yeah, so Backyard Ultra is a test for people to see how far they can go really. So the idea is you run a 6.7 kilometre trail running loop and you do one of those an hour. So you run your 6.7k loop through the forest and it might take you 45 minutes, and then the rest of the hour, 15 minutes, you've got to rest, sleep, eat, change your shoes, go to the toilet before you restart on the hour with everybody else. If you do 24 laps, then that's 100 miles, which is sort of a US milestone race. And so 48 is 200 miles. So that's why it's the 6.7 kilometres. It's quite cruel. Everybody that pulls out is classified as a did not finish, a DNF. So there's no medals or celebration. They get timed out and it's see you later. So the only person that actually wins is the last person standing. Even the second place, they're not called second, they're a DNF as well. So, so everyone's pretty much racing apart from one person at the end. If you miss the hour, then you're DNF. If you can't get out of the seat, then you're DNF. It's cruel, but that's the beauty of it.
My name is Gary Cantrell. A lot of people call me Lazarus Lake. The actual idea for a backyard ultra started when I was in high school. It didn't have all the detail that it has today, but because of my characteristics as a runner, I was not very fast, but I always was in good shape and I could tolerate a lot of punishment. So I thought that a 4-mile race, 4 miles an hour every hour till only one person was left would be something that I would do well at. But it didn't come about until 2011 when we had moved on to the farm outside of Bell Buckle.
So does this amaze you that this idea that you had back in high school has now become an international phenomenon?
You just know, it goes to show you never know.
So the event that you created in 2011 was called Big's Backyard. Just explain who Big refers to and why you call it that.
Big Dog was my, I had a 100-pound pit bull. Best dog you can imagine. Truly loved people. Very great disposition, incredible intelligence. And when we started the race and looking at the nature of it, I thought this would be poetic justice for a pit bull to sponsor an event where humans fought to the death. Now, Big lived for 15 and a half years, going on 16, and he lived way longer than pit bulls are supposed to live, but I think he survived mostly because he was just so happy, and he never gave up. Just a tremendous dog. We will miss him at Big's Backyard this year. In a backyard, when you start, one of two things happen. You win, or you mentally quit.
It's very much a mind game, this event as well. You know, the body sort of hitches along for the ride, but not having a finish line, not knowing how far you're going to go at the start of the event is a real mind bender. And the further you get into it, you're sort of thinking, well, how far can I go, and how far is the other person going to go, because I have to keep going with them to try and win this thing.
As a race director, what you end up thinking at one point when it starts to get down to the short hairs, you think, this really is a blood sport. There is some serious physical discomfort.
The current New Zealand record holder, Sam Harvey, is here. Yeah, super strong and pretty strong mentally as well. He's very focused, and he's got the current record of 47 laps that he did in October at the Team World Champs, so he was the winner of the New Zealand event. So he's running. He'll be keen to go as far as he can, hoping that he's got a crew of other people that are going to take him a long distance.
First Backyard Ultra, it was really a bit of luck finding out about that, and I thought, let's check the running calendar, see what's coming up. And only 2 weeks after I moved to Auckland, there was going to be this Backyard Ultra, and I was like, what the hell's that? I'll have a look, and didn't seem anything out of the ordinary apart from the fact that there was a golden ticket if you won the race to go to Tennessee. And me having lived in Tennessee, my now wife living in Tennessee at the time, and me being apart from her, I thought this is a pretty prime opportunity for me to go back and see her. All I got to do is win a race, win a golden ticket, and then I can go back to Tennessee and see Anna.
My name is Anna Harvey, formerly Anna Berman. I was born in Indianapolis, Indiana, and that's where I was raised my whole life, but I went to university in North Carolina and then got a job in Nashville, Tennessee, which is where I met Sam. We had been together for a month when he flew back to New Zealand for the first time, and he FaceTimed me while he was in the middle of like his first 100-kilometer race or something like that, and he was just in this beautiful place and he looked like he was having the time of his life.
At that point I was like, sweet, if I can run for 40 hours, then I've got this. And no one in my mind had as strong a drive or reason to win that race than I did. So yeah, I basically figured you can't beat me because my purpose is stronger than yours. My purpose was love, I guess. I wanted to see my girl.
The idea of this lucky golden ticket to get to the exact spot where I was living, it always seemed very surreal. But I knew it was a long shot. It seems like a crazy idea of a race, but I mean, obviously if anyone can do it, he could. So
we get through the first day, people start dropping. We go into the first night, even more people were dropping. We get to the morning and there's not many of us left. Then after a few hours, there's only 2 of us, and I'm on the home straight in my mind. So we run into the night, just the 2 of us. For the last 5 hours of the race, it was me and Chris, shoulder to shoulder. For 5 hours, we didn't say a word to each other, so it was pretty primal. And at that point, I'd run almost 100 kilometers further than any other ultramarathon I'd run, so I was in no man's land. I was hallucinating, slept sleep deprivation, I was dehydrated, I didn't have enough sugar on board. I guess it was just a moment of weakness where I crumbled and I didn't start. I didn't start the last lap to push it over the 250 kilometre mark. That was pretty gutting. Is all I can say. I'd come pretty close, but yeah, just didn't have it in the last minute.
How gutted was he?
Incredibly gutted. Obviously, he's an incredibly competitive person, but the idea of just getting that race in general, even if I wasn't in the picture, would have been a huge accomplishment for him. So even to add that on top of it would have been very difficult, and it was incredibly difficult.
I mean, I was devastated because essentially that was me not being strong enough. I wasn't good enough to win, and I wasn't good enough to get back and see Anna.
I'm in the galley. I miss my wife and I miss my dog. Jesus, I fucking miss them. And I love my mum and dad. I'm so fucking thankful for my life.
But I got this email from this guy called Sam Harvey, who told me he'd just won a last man standing, and he told me what he had done. And I think my opening line is, because you're crazy, you would qualify for me to help you. You don't have to be crazy, but it does help. And so that's the way I put it to Sam. And Sam said, I love that, because yes, I'm crazy enough to do it all.
Eventually I found out through a running club that I was registered with that they had this guy, Barry McGee, and he was a bit of a legend. He was an old boy, but he'd won bronze at the Olympics in the marathon, and he was 88, and I thought, that's pretty hectic, quite out there. So I went and I met with Barry, and yeah, he was definitely out there, definitely on brand for how I approach sport, and yeah, I guess two odd minds meeting.
So we sat in that office for about 2.5 hours, and then I had to kick him out. And he said, I'd stay all night, you know. He was so happy to learn and to understand what was required, what was needed. And he said, I've worked out you have got the secrets of Lydiard, and I want to know them and apply them to my running in the future.
I'm prepared to go as far as can be physically done. Since that race, I have not been pushed to my limit. I don't let much faze me. I figure anything is accomplishable, and I guess I fail to be sympathetic with others a little bit, which is bad, but yeah, now that I've learned how to overcome the hardest of obstacles, yeah, I don't see why everyone can't just put their mind to something and just smash it.
Sam's the oldest of our 3 boys, and honestly, we used to get looked at in the supermarket because Sam always had a row of bruises across his head or a bloody nose, or honestly, he looked like a beaten child. And it was just, he went everywhere at 1,000,000 miles an hour and was always tipping over. He's had the most broken bones, he's had the most concussions, you name it, Sam's had it. He'll be the one that will try and jump out of a tree and catch another tree. Yeah. Never dare Sam to do anything because he's always up for it.
Yeah, I guess I was always destined to do something like this. I was always stubborn. Stubborn's probably a key trait that goes well in the sport.
Sam's always pushed the limits, and he's a stubborn little shit. and you know, there's not too many people that get the best of him, and he's a very thoughtful athlete in that he reflects and learns, and I've been actually quite impressed with sometimes how humble he can be, because he can be a cocky little shit.
Sam is fearless. Like, he doesn't see failure as an option and just keeps on going.
He's definitely on the more dangerous side of pushing his limits, but I trust him, and he's done all right for himself so far and not hurting himself and actually taking a step back when he needs to. So it's hard to see, but I trust him.
Sometimes we have to tell him, stop being a dick, you know. You don't have to race so fast. It's not a dick measuring contest, so to speak. If he's got a pain or something, telling him to harden up and to keep on going, because you know that he'll push through whatever's going.
Sometimes there's some expletives.
Yeah.
Most of the time I think he takes on board what we're suggesting.
Sam is a very dedicated person. I think he's always known he's been different or unique, and he just embraces that. He knows that life is what you make of it. Like, if he sets out to do something, he's going to do it no matter what. If he's sick or tired, doesn't feel like it, he's still going to go and do that 2-hour run, because he knows at the end of it he's going to be proud of himself. So he's always thinking of those long-term goals and always thinking of the future.
Sam loves to win, and I think he loves to win not for anything more than it just fills his cup. He's achieved his goal.
I guess I don't allow the thought of failure into my head. I race to fucking win. Like, I'm not gonna pander around it. It's yeah, that's my goal.
When I asked him, "Are you nervous? Are you scared?" He was like, "I'm gonna win it. That's just what I'm there to do. It's what's meant to happen, and that's no question." He's quite confident, and he's just ready to finally do what he set out to do all those years ago.